All right, happy Easter, everybody. It's a Sunday morning. The Iceman here. I just got done watching the video. It's a DVD from presented by High Spots, and it's called "Leaving an Impact." It's the AJ Styles DVD. It's actually a three disc set. It has the interview from January 2nd, 2014, about his career and his status, how it was in TNA till up to the very end. It also has an interview on a separate disc from 2006, back when TNA was really flourishing, and it also has another disc which reflects upon the career of AJ Styles. So I just wanted to show you. This is like the disc. It says Dream Team. It'll basically talk about AJ's career and show a lot of the highlights of his matches and whatnot. And then we have the second disc, which is a 2006 interview with AJ, and last but not least, the recent one, Leaving an Impact with TNA. After watching the Leaving an Impact interview by High Spots with AJ Styles, I mean, he's one of my biggest you know um, superstars in the world of professional wrestling. And after watching this interview, it makes me even like him more so. The man is very, very classy. He did not put down TNA whatsoever. He did talk about maybe a little bit of, you know, mismanagement and disappointment he had because he really gave it his heart and soul for the 11 years that he was there. And he just thought that TNA didn't reach out and try to really make the agreement or the contract work. And so, he felt that what they offered him, was too one-sided, and that's the only reason why he decided to, not to re-sign with TNA and, look for work elsewhere. Go back to the Indies where he first began. So, but they talked about a lot of things in this interview, which was he was interviewed at his home in Gainesville, Georgia. Again, it was on January 2nd of this year. They talked about the departure of Jeff Jarrett and what AJ thought about that. And like AJ said, he said, when the man who founded TNA decides to resign and leave, that puts up a red flag. That means he knows something is terribly wrong in TNA. And, then AJ was asked, if you were in the middle of negotiating your contract and Jeff Jarrett resigned, would that affect you in your contract negotiations? And of course, AJ said yes. I mean, really, when the founder decides to leave, he goes, you got to know something's wrong. And I would have had to take more time to think about it, AJ said. So, excellent, excellent 2 hour interview. And it was sort of ironic too, because in this interview, they talked about Eric Young, um, the many changes that he's had in TNA wrestling. AJ has stated that Eric Young is one of the funniest guys uh, in TNA, and they, didn't use him properly. And he said that, you know, he could be somebody if they really wanted to do something with him. And lo and behold, you know, AJ said this before it all happened. Eric Young is now the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Sort of interesting there. Uh, there was lots of talk about Christian. AJ said when Christian came in to TNA, he did have a little bit of an ego, but he said he was like an in-ring general. He said he was a great person to work with in the ring. Uh, he knew exactly what to do when they had their matches. And he said basically he had nothing bad to say, only praising Christian, which is very complimental to Christian. Uh, Talking about Kurt Angle when he came in, uh, basically saying that Kurt Angle sort of like treated everybody else like he was so much better than them, but gradually they all worked together. And a lot of people didn't like Kurt when he came in, and like I said, they gradually, got to know him, and things developed into a better relationship between Kurt Angle and the rest of the roster. So, a lot of great stuff on this interview. Just so many things that they were talking about. Talking about the contract negotiations. AJ's contract was really ending on December 15th. Um, he waited till the last minute. He said, but when he got the offer, he thought it was a slap in the face. He thought it was very one-sided. It was all management's, benefit. Uh, there was really no incentives, no bonuses. It was a big, huge pay cut. So AJ decided, well, you know, this is not for me. I'm going to look elsewhere for employment, basically, because he needs to support his wife and kids. So, uh, yeah, that just so much. He talked about Samoa Joe, how he basically got TNA to sign Samoa Joe because he told them that you sign this guy, you won't regret it. And you know, he talked about Christopher Daniels, how great those two worked well together. Um, it was just a phenomenal interview with a phenomenal person. And I have yet to see the other two discs, which I plan on watching in the next few days. But if you get a chance, really, this DVD is well worth it. Leaving an impact. AJ Styles presented by High Spots, and you know, if you're a fan of AJ Styles, you'll even become more of a fan because you'll find out really how classy he was in his negotiations. Again, he never badmouthed TNA whatsoever. He still states that he thinks he and Dixie Carter are friends. Uh, he talked about in this interview his match with Magnus, where he lost the belt, was not aired yet on TNA, and he talked about the Bret Hart screw job, with Shawn Michaels back at Survivor Series in '97, and you know, back then he was saying, "Man, you're making millions of dollars," and he goes, "Why can't you just take the pin from Shawn?" And AJ really didn't understand it until his match with Magnus. And he was saying, I could have just laid down and let Magnus get the count 1, 2, 3. And but he said, I wanted to be more professional than that. He goes, I wanted to go out and give the fans something to remember me by. And so he played his role uh, the best he could in in a losing effort. And you got to give him a lot of credit for that because he knew he wasn't coming back, and he could have really spoiled the ending. But he, being a class act as he is, he decided not to. One of the things he did mention, though, back in 2010 when Hulk Hogan arrived, when he had to lose the belt to newly signed Rob Van Dam. He was very upset that he had to lose the belt to Van Dam just for the simple fact he just came in from the WWE, and he just didn't think it was, right. And the thing that bothered him the most was when he took the pin from Van Dam, he said Van Dam didn't think of me or respect me enough to even, put his arm around my leg to hold down the pin. He just covered me. And that was really one of the things that bothered AJ. And I really don't blame him there because, you got these guys that come in with big egos and they think they're better than everybody else. And, you come in and you're going to get the title from somebody. And, it wasn't just from somebody, it was from AJ Styles. And don't have enough respect to really, make the pin, in a proper way. It just looked like it made it too easy for Rob Van Dam to win the title. He was also talking about Hulk Hogan coming into TNA, getting paid, millions of dollars. And one of the things that did bother AJ the most was when Hulk Hogan went off, on radio shows or he traveled to do interviews. He said he never mentioned TNA. It was always about either the other company or himself, what he was doing, but he would never promote TNA. And like AJ said, you're working for TNA and you're doing interviews, it goes without saying that you should mention the company you work for. And like also that AJ said, management never pushed him to do anything. They just brought him in because he was a big name. He thought they could really boost, the company. But what did really Hogan do in TNA? He really didn't do much of anything but accept a major paycheck. So, and he said there was a lot of guys from WWE that came in, you know, or other companies that came in that just wanted a paycheck. He said he learned a lot from Booker T, but he thought when Booker got there that it was just about the paycheck. Um, but he did say with Christian was professional, a great person to work with. So that, kudos to Christian. And, you know, but anyway, great interview by High Spots. Highly recommended to any AJ Styles fan to add to your collection. You won't regret it. Like I said, there's 2 other discs to watch, and I'll be getting down to that. I'm curious to see what the interview from 2006 is all about because that's when TNA was doing very, very, very good at the time. And so, anyhow, just wanted to talk about that this Easter morning. Everybody enjoy your Easter. Have a great day, and we'll see y'all next time. This is the Iceman. Have a great day.